We're going to start lying on the mat, face down. So coming to all fours, and then slowly lower the chest down onto the ground. Bringing your forehead to the ground, feeling the back of the neck nice and long. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then opening the mouth, sighing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lovely. And then bringing your arms by your side, nose to the mat. As you inhale, start to lift up your chest and shoulders. And then exhale, lower. Bring your right cheek to the ground and then give your hips a little sway, left to right. Bring your nose back to the center. And then from here, we're going to lift up the arms, lift up the chest, and then lifting up the right leg. Looking forward, take a deep breath in. And then lower your right leg, press the right foot into the ground, and then lifting up your left leg. Little lift. Lower the left leg, interlace your fingers, press the palms away, and then lifting up both feet. One more breath here. And then gently soften. Let the arms melt into the ground. Soften through those muscles. Let the toes knock inwards and just give your hips a nice sway left to right. And one more breath. And then bring your nose back to the center. Press your hands down into the ground. And we're just going to lift up the chest and shoulders, squeezing the glutes, pressing your toes down to the ground. And then start to hover the hands, wrap the elbows up to the sky and squeeze them close together behind your back. Bringing length now to the back of the neck and tightly tuck the chin in. One more breath here. Keep squeezing, keep lifting. And then soften, bring the hands down to the ground. Give your hips a nice little shake. Looking over to the left, right cheek onto the ground. And then we're going to walk the hands just a little bit wider than your yoga mat. So out to the side. Onto the pads of your fingertips. Allow the legs to go a little bit wider. And then from here, as you inhale, press into the hands. Pull the back of the neck up to the ceiling. Open through the chest and shoulders. And then as you exhale, we're going to melt the chest back down. Lovely, 2 more of those, breathing in. Feel the back of the neck, pull the chest up. And then your gaze goes up to the ceiling. Once you finish the inhale, slowly draw the chest back down. 2 more of those, breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lovely. Slide your hands under your shoulders, lifting up your torso. Find yourself in an all fours position. Lovely. So just getting the core nice and activated. Press down through your hands, spread your fingers, and just checking with your knees. Knees are hip width distance. Switch on your lower core muscles and your pelvic floor. So that feeling of keeping in urine, just sort of switching on that muscle. And then from here, we're going to hover the right knee off of the ground and send it away, keeping those hips nice and level. Rotate that right thigh inwards and then start to float up your left hand. As you exhale, draw the knee and the nose together, rounding through the spine. Little tuck. And then inhale to lift. Lengthening. Exhale down, round through the spine. Really pressing into that right hand. Inhale to lengthen. We have 1 more here. Exhale down, round through the spine. Squeeze. Inhale, reach away. Looking up, just beyond that left hand, and then bring that left hand down. We're going to bring the right knee all the way over towards the right hand side. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like from the side. You can also come to the long edge of your mat here if you like. But it's only really for the benefit of that foot. So the right hand comes to the ground, left hand comes to the ground. As you inhale, reach that left hand up. And then exhale, we thread that hand under your right and reaching it towards the right foot. Inhale, reach that left arm high, looking up to the ceiling. Exhale down, sending it away. Maybe your cheek almost touches the ground. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, threading it under, and this time we hold it. Now if your shoulders are far away from the ground, you can place a block under your shoulder and your cheek. Otherwise, lower that shoulder down. Take a deep breath in. Long exhale. Maybe that right arm goes behind for a bind. And then releasing, bring that right hand down, left hand back to the center, curling your left toes under, and then we're just going to slowly sit back to that heel and coming forward. 2 more of those. Exhale down, inhale to lift, exhale down, inhale, lift. Lovely. Slide everything back to all fours, spreading your fingers. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale. I'm just thinking about your upper back here, so we're not sinking the shoulder blades down. Really press through the ground and lift up the back of your body. From here, place all the way into that right knee, floating your left leg behind you, squeeze that left glute and turn that thigh inwards. Right hand reaches forward. Exhale, we bring the knee and the nose together, rounding through the spine, keeping that core tight. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale down, squeeze. Inhale to reach, hold it here for a moment, look up beyond that right hand. And then bring that right hand down, slide that left foot round to the side. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling. Lovely. Right hand goes up to the sky, open through the chest and shoulders. Exhale, thread that hand beyond and towards your left foot. Inhale, reach it high. Exhale, sending it away towards those left toes. Inhale, last one. Exhale, reaching it away. And this time, either using a block or slowly lower your cheek and your shoulder down, coming into that twist. Now if you want to go into a bind with your top arm, you can wrap that arm behind your back, maybe wrap onto your right hip. Take a deep breath in, exhaling. Bring that left hand back round to the front, curling your right toes under, come back up onto both of your wrists, and then from here we're going to sink the hips back and up. 2 more of those. Lowering down, just getting through that adductor here on the left leg. Nice little stretch on the inner thigh. And then lifting up, lovely. Bring everything back to the center, back to neutral or fours position. And then from here, spread your fingers again, protraction here through the upper back. And we're going to hover the knees for 5 counts. So wrapping the core in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send it up, downward facing dog. Just checking with the feet to hip width distance, soft bend through the knees, lift your tailbone nice and high. Spread your fingers. Use the pads of your fingers here to take weight off of your wrists. And then as you inhale, lift onto your tiptoes. Exhale to draw the heels down. Inhale to lift. Exhale down. Feel the armpits rolling inwards to face each other. Inhale to lift. And then from here, keeping the heels lifted, bring a bend to the knees, look forward. stepping or tiptoe all the way to the back of your hands. Find a forward fold, grab hold of your elbows, little sway here, left to right. So this practice is all about twists, getting into the core, getting the quads nice and strong. Let's take one more breath, little sway, left to right, nice and easy here through the lower back. And if you have a block handy, I would suggest having a block. Otherwise, if you're a little bit more open in the hamstrings, then you might not need a block. So the right hand's going to come to the center, just between both your feet. Bring a bend into your right leg, and then start to lift your left arm up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. One more breath. Really reach those left fingers up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Bring that left hand down. Bring a bend into your left knee, and then extension through the right leg. Lift up your right hand. Lovely. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhaling. Exhale. Bring both hands back down. You can move that block away now. Rolling through the spine. We're going to come all the way up to standing. The head is the last thing to lift. And then lifting your arms, fingers to the ceiling, hands come to prayer. Lovely. Standing up nice and tall, Tadasana, reach your fingers down towards the ground, spread your toes. And then from here, starting to wiggle your feet closer together. Whatever feels comfortable, toes can touch. Or if that's not good, then just bring them as narrow as possible that feels good for you. We're going to sweep the floor. And then from here, keeping the tailbone nice and low, lifting up the chest and shoulders. Rotation here through the little fingers, so they're coming inwards. We've got nice long arms, gaze between the hands. And then just bring your awareness now to your low back. So if you've got a deep arch, just start to tip the tailbone down towards the ground so you lengthen out through the lower spine. And then having a quick glance down at your toes, check that you can see your big toes. One more breath. Beautiful. Bring the hands together, prayer center. We're going to bring the left elbow to the right thigh. Power of Vritta Utkatasana. Twisted chair pose. Send your gaze to the ceiling. Press your right hand into your left hand. Hold it here. Lovely. And then from here we're going to come up. Utkatasana. Hands to prayer. Reach the chest forward. Right elbow, left thigh. Inhale, find length. Exhale to twist, press the top hand into the bottom hand, gaze up to the ceiling. Check that both knees are nice and in line. Chest is lifted away from the thighs, and then we come back. Utkatasana chair pose. Lovely, coming up to standing. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, coming back to that chair pose. Hands come together, prayer center, left elbow, right thigh, back into that twisted chair. And then from here, we're going to slowly peel the left foot off of the ground and then send it back, coming into a high lunge position. Now this is the more advanced version. You can drop the knee down here for modifications. And then finding that deep twist again. So pressing into that left palm. Feel the chest twist round, feel yourself leaning back. One more breath. And then release. Frame that front leg. We're going to lift up to high lunge. And then exhale to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Lovely, hold it for a breath. Soft shoulders, strong arms. Inhale to find length through the front leg. Couple of steps here with your back foot. Flip your palms, reach your fingers forward. And then Trikonasana, triangle pose. Reach that top arm down. Left back arm is reaching up to the sky. Open through that left shoulder. Feel yourself leaning back. The insteps of your feet are lifted, your feet are switched on, the quads are switched on, send your gaze down to the floor, and then lift back up to standing. Both legs are straight. You're going to turn to face the front. So we're in our warrior one stance, right foot pointing forward, left foot is off towards the left corner. Right hand comes round to the low back for support, left arm reaches high, breathing in. And then from here, hinging forward from the hips. So see how it feels, keep the spine nice and long, aim to keep the legs nice and long so you can switch on those quads. And wherever it feels good, before you start giving into that bend and that rounding through the spine, bring the left hand down to the outside edge of the thigh, the calf, the ground, whatever your hamstrings allow. And then we're going to come into a twist. So opening that chest round to the other side. And if you're struggling here with a bit of balance, then you can always widen the stance so you don't have to be on tightrope here with the feet. One more breath. And then gently release. We're going to frame this front leg, slide your back foot to low lunge, and then step it back to find plank. Squeeze the glutes, shift the shoulders forward, lower your chest down. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling. Soft bend through the knees, look forward, stepping, tiptoeing, whatever works, to the top of the room. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to fold. And from here, we're going to shuffle the feet close together again, and then come to chair pose from the ground up. Lovely. Hands come together, prayer center. Hinging the chest forward, right elbow to left thigh. Find that twist, hold it for another moment. And then we send the gaze down to the floor, peel the right foot off of the ground, send it to your glute, and then we launch it back to find our high lunge, Parivrita Parsvakonasana. Modified version, you lower that back knee down. Press the top hand into the bottom hand, lift up your chest away from that front thigh. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to release, frame your front leg, and then lift up, high lunge. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Lovely. Coming to find that warrior 2 position, soft shoulders again. Insteps are lifted. One more breath. Inhale to lengthen. A couple of steps forward with that back foot. Flip the palms to face the side, reach forward. And then pivoting the arms round. If it feels okay in the neck, you can send the gaze all the way up to that top thumb. Open that shoulder, feel yourself leaning back, really test your balance, test your edge here. Lovely, send your gaze back down to the ground, lift yourself up to standing, hands come to the hips, we point back to the front, and then from here, left foot's pointing forward, right foot is off at the angle, left hand comes round to the low back for support, we sweep the right arm high as you breathe in, and then as you exhale, reach that chest forward. Find that point in which you can hold, and then you bring the right hand down. And wherever it lands, keep it there, twist the chest. I have a block with me always, as it makes my positioning feel more comfortable, so I always recommend using blocks. One more breath. Lovely, gently release, frame your front leg, step it back to find plank, squeeze the thighs, option to keep the knees lifted or you can drop them down for modified vinyasa. Exhale, lower, feel the elbows skim past the rib cage. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Breathe in through the nose. Long exhale through the nose. Soft bend through the knees, looking forward. Step, tiptoe or float, top of the mat. Halfway lift, long spine as you breathe in. Exhale to fold. Lovely. And then from here, rolling up through the spine. Arms reach high. And then bringing the hands together, prayer center. Lovely. So you'll notice there's a lot of squats in this practice. It's just really to get those quads fired up and nice and strong. And those twists are really there to help you get that twisting action ready for when you're on mountains. So from here, bring the feet back together again. Coming into the chair pose, sweep the arms high, lift the gaze. Bring the hands together, prayer center. This time, we're going to bring the left elbow back to that right thigh. Find that positioning, find that twisting action. I'm just changing my stance so you can see from this side. Looking up to the sky, maybe you open the arms if you're feeling good. Otherwise, you can just stay there with the hands in prayer center. From here, we're going to start to peel that right heel off of the ground. And then we're going to come into a standing position. Slowly, that right foot lifts all the way off of the ground. We've got this connection here with the elbow and the thigh. Lovely. Keep squeezing, keep using that elbow. It's tucking nice and gently into that thigh, but with nice and strong through the core. Keep the shoulders nice and soft. One more breath. And then staying upright, lift your chest and shoulders to point forward and squeeze that thigh into the chest. So working on balance here. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And see if you can bring your shoulders in alignment with your hips. So instead of pulling forwards, getting them up and stacked on top. Spine nice and long. Let's go for one more breath. Really working that standing leg. From here, let go of that right thigh. Bring the hands together, press center. And we're going to send that leg behind. Warrior 3. Pointing your toes or flexing, whatever works. Just activating through that right quad. One more breath. Lovely. From here, we're going to bring a bend into the standing leg and then send it back to high lunge. As you exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. And from here, we're going to come down to Skandasana. So we're going to come up first, lengthening both legs, and then turn to the long side of the mat. Turn both toes out to the side. And we're going to start to bend back into that left leg, and this time sending the bum back. And feel that right heel, the right heel press into the ground and flexing through that right foot. Now, if you're like me, and my Achilles is a little bit tight on my left side, you can place a block under that heel, bringing the left elbow to the inner thigh, feel the chest open up to the sky, and then opening up through the arms. Lovely, really switching on that right quad. One more breath. And then from here, coming back down to the ground, we're going to frame this left leg in a low lunge. Step it back to find your plank, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes, and then lower down your variation of vinyasa. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely, bend the knees, look forward, step or float top of the mat. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Exhale to fold. Shuffle your feet back together again, and then we're going to come into chair pose from the ground up. Hands come together, prayer center, right elbow, left thigh. Find that twist. Press that top hand into the bottom hand. Lift the chest away from the thighs. Start to peel that left heel off of the ground. Stabilization muscles are switched on in the right leg. Spread the toes of the right foot and then slowly lift that left leg off of the ground. Now you can easily stand here with your elbow and your thigh just touching, or you can really stand, really press and find that twist, find that pressure. You can apply the pressure here. Keep lifting nice and tall. Lovely, let's go for one more breath. And then we're going to gently release, come up to standing, face forward, square your shoulders and your hips, and then squeeze that left knee into the chest. Almost feel your hip bones pulling forward, shoulders pulling back. Imagine you have an orange tucked between your chin and your chest. So the back of your spine is long from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. From here, we're going to let go of that left thigh, bringing the hands together, prayer center, sending it back to that warrior 3 position. And from the side, it might look like a capital T. Don't forget to switch on your foot, whether that's pointing or flexing, rolling that left femur inwards to square off both of your hip bones. Let's go for one more breath. Feel the crown of your head pull forwards, tiny bend through your standing leg as you step it back to flying warrior 2. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Soft shoulders. Really nice. Lengthen through the front leg. Turn to the long side of the mat. Both toes point out to the corners, and then we bend down into that right leg. Peeling the left foot off of the ground. And then from here, again, don't forget to use a block if you need it under your right ankle. Otherwise, bringing the elbow to the inside edge of that thigh. Peel your chest up to the ceiling with a nice little twist. And switching on that left quad. Almost imagine that left heel lifting off of the ground. One more breath. Lovely. From here, we're going to pivot all the way around, framing the right leg, low lunge. Step it back. Find plank, squeeze the thighs, exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the chest and shoulders. Exhale, send it back, down dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling, lovely. Drop the knees down to the ground. Swivel yourselves round, thighs come round to the side, and then extending the legs out. Lovely, so we're on the ground now. You can just move the flesh away from your sit bones here, so you can feel your 2 sit bones firmly rooted down, flexing your toes. You can always use a block. So if your tailbone is touching and you're rounding through the lower part of your lumbar spine, then you can place a block under your sit bones just to give it a little bit more extension and a lift. From here, inhale, lifting up the arms. Exhale, forward fold, Paschimottanasana. And if you want, you can grab hold of your toes with your 2 peace fingers, outside edge of your feet, or holding onto the calves, whatever feels good. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling. Inhale to bring yourself up to seated. We're going to do a half saddle pose. So I'm going to spin myself around to demonstrate from the other side. We're going to bring the right knee into the chest. And then from here, holding onto that right ankle, and then internally rotating that right thigh to bring that leg down. Now, if this doesn't feel good in that knee joint, that's absolutely fine. You just change it, and you bring the sole of the foot to the inside edge of that left leg. If it feels a little bit unusual, but not painful, then it might be because you need a block under your sit bone. So there's a couple of options here if that knee isn't feeling good. From here, flexing that left foot, see if you can lift that left heel, lifting up nice and tall through the spine. You might already find quite a nice stretch just from lifting up tall, but if you have more space, then start to hinge forward over that left leg. One more breath. And then lifting back up to seated. We're going to pick up this right leg, Externally rotating the thigh back into that position. That was a modification. Arms reach high. Exhale, forward fold, Janu Shasana. And then from here, coming up to seated, the right hand is going to come behind the right sit bone, maybe a couple of hands distance away. And then we sweep the left arm over the chest, coming into a modified wild thing. And then exhale, bring yourself down. Lovely, extending both legs, picking up that left knee, internal rotation here through the thigh. Might feel different on this leg, so coming into Janu Shasana, if it doesn't feel good in the knee, or using a brick. Assess how it feels. Lengthening through the spine. Flexing the right foot and then hinging forward from the hips. Forward fold. Lovely. Inhale, bring yourself up to seated. Picking up that left leg. Externally rotating that leg to find Janu Shasana. Turn to point your right foot. Arms reach high. Breathing in. Exhale, forward fold. And then from here, lifting yourself up. Slide that left hand behind. Right arm reaches over the chest. We come into our modified wild thing. And then sitting the hips back down. Lovely, bring both knees together. We're going to round through the spine, activating through the core. If you want for a challenge, you can also hover the feet, which is very hard. We're going to roll all the way down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely, shoulders touch down, feet come back down to the ground. Bring your right knee into the chest, lengthen through the left leg, and then with your left hand, grab hold of your right knee and slide it across the body for a supine twist. Gaze goes over towards that right thumb. And then bringing that knee back to the center. Changing legs, left knee comes in, right leg extends, right hand to left knee. Guiding that knee across the body, send your gaze over towards that left hand. And then from here, bring that left knee back to the center. Lovely, give yourself a squeeze. Both knees come into the thighs, into the chest. Nose to the knees, little squeeze. And then we release, coming down to your final resting pose. Allow your feet to be slightly wider than the hips. Palms point up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and a big sigh. Bring the hands together in prayer center. Take a moment to find some gratitude for your practice. If you have more time to rest, then please stay for a little bit longer. Otherwise, ending the session now. Have a lovely rest of your day or evening. Namaste.